Welcome to ACC Network Basketball, presented to you by Geico. And inside McCamish Pavilion, it is a matinee game. Miami and Georgia Tech meeting for the second time this season. Georgia Tech won the first game down in Miami. Getting that crucial time of year right now. It's important to stay in the top 4 of the ACC standings in order to get a double bye in the upcoming ACC tournament. Georgia Tech right now number 3, Miami at 11, facing an uphill climb. And welcome to Atlanta. Pam Ward along with former Demon Deacon LaChina Robinson. And some good news. Nell Fortner was thrilled to tell us yesterday that Lorela Cubaj is healthy enough to play today.
Yeah, Cubaj only logged 17 minutes in the Yellow Jackets' loss at Louisville. And, you know, the big news for them is that she's back. Yes, they did lose that game, but Nell Fortner told us that she's feeling well, she's moving well. And that's major for Georgia Tech because Cubaj not only leads her team in rebounding, but the ACC. She is the Yellow Jackets' toughest on defense. She can switch 1 through 4. She's the enforcer at the rim, can block shots, gets them paint points. She is the emotional leader of this Yellow Jacket team, and we are happy she is back in the lineup.
Makes a big difference when she is there. And Destiny Harden, after a little bit of a midseason slump, LaChina back to playing like her old self again.
Yeah, her last 3 games have really been fantastic. And the number that stands out to you, she's averaging 9 rebounds over her last 3. One thing that Katie Meyer has said to us all season long is when Destiny Harden is active on the glass and getting her team extra possessions, that is where they are at their best, when she is at their best. And they will need those rebounds against a tough Yellow Jacket team today.
Yeah, Georgia Tech, one of the best rebounding teams in the league, in part because of Lorela Cubaj. And there is Lorela getting with Georgia Tech, and Miami did play earlier this season, as we mentioned. And Georgia Tech won that game 70-56. Cubaj, another double-double in that one with 14 points and 14 rebounds. And we saw her coming in, had her left knee in ice, but ready to roll for this Georgia Tech team, who are really looking solid. Nell Fortner has done a great job with this group.
Boy, she's having an outstanding year. Nell Fortner is my front runner for ACC Coach of the Year. When you look at the makeup of this team, they have a lot of young players, freshmen coming off of the bench, a freshman playing the point guard in McQueen. And all of her returners have improved. Lodamai Lotman is arguably the front runner for most improved in the conference. And again, Lorela Cubaj has just been a force in a season where the ACC has a lot of depth at the center position.
And we are underway. Georgia Tech in their home whites. Miami wearing the orange on this afternoon. Happy Mardi Gras, everybody. There is Lotman, number 31 in white, who has had a terrific season.
Zone defense here by Miami to start, and that's to be expected because of this, because of the interior game of Georgia Tech with Hermosa and Cubaj.
And a little bit of a tweak in the Miami starting lineup, as Destiny Harden has been a mainstay, but Kelsey Marshall not starting today.
Yeah, Kelsey Marshall's coming off of what Katie Meyer would say is a subpar performance at Florida State in a loss, and they need Marshall. I mean, when you look at their roster, her experience, her three-point shooting, she is the player that really has to bring her A game every night, and Katie Meyer sending a message.
Destiny Harden gets the first bucket as we take a look at the Georgia Tech starting 5. This has pretty much been solid all the way since Loyal McQueen stepped in the starting lineup, the true freshman, making her 12th start of the season. Boy, Kiara Fletcher coming back from an ankle injury has made a world of difference as well.
Yeah, she has really come back strong and stepped up. And Georgia Tech is still without Sarah Bates, who was having a good season. One of the three-point shooters that stretched the floor, took good care of the basketball. She is still out with an injury and not sure when she will return.
Yeah, Coach Fortner is hoping to get her in the next couple of weeks to get back in the lineup just before the ACC tournament starts. Outside shots, and Aryavets really needed that one to go down.
First 2 possessions, I love Miami's patience on the offensive end. There have been times this season where they've come down and taken the first available shot. They are shifting the defense. They're doing well out of the trapping of Georgia Tech, showing just a lot of poise. They will need to keep that up.
Fletcher tries to answer, but it cups out. Aryavets gets the rebound for the Hurricanes, who have lost a couple of straight to Virginia Tech and at Florida State. They split with the Seminoles during the regular season. And then underneath, it's Georgia Tech getting on the board.
Yeah, Nerea Hermosa beating Miami down the floor, getting an easy layup.
Hermosa had 10 points and 6 rebounds the first time these two teams played. And then good interior defense. And Mbondu, Naomi Mbondu, somewhat of an enigma, had a terrific stretch for Miami, but the last couple of games, her production has been way down.
And a lot of that just has to do with Miami's offense in general, just not really clicking. Again, I mentioned some of the quick shooting the ball, just not great decision making, and Mbondu's lack of production is a part of that.
And there's Katie Meyer, who is in her 16th season at Miami, picked up the 300th win with the Hurricanes in the first game against Florida State. And she's just trying to, as you mentioned, she's never been shy about shaking up the lineup to try to wake some players up. And more often than not, it seems to help.
And this has been a season where she's had to, I mean, a lot of change from the roster. Micaiah Gray's injury have really forced a lot of movement on and changes to roles. So, Katie Meyer is a great motivator, and she knows how to get her team to play their best.
Oh, that's a nice look for Harden. 5 points now for Destiny. She hits from the outside.
Inside, outside. I mean, the defense collapses. You get a good touch of the paint. You kick it out for three. I mean, great offense by Miami. Not something we've been able to say very often this season, as their offense has really been the most inconsistent part of their year.
And Mbondu just drew the charge on Kubai.
Miami wearing the fresh unis today for the noon game and coming out with a lot of energy. Good ball movement. Ball touches the paint. And then Harden, with that confidence that we talked about to start this game, and her last three, really feeling it, really taking on some of the responsibility of being a scorer. And she started off the year that way, but just kind of hit a slump. And looks like she's out, Pam.
Yeah, against Georgia Tech the first time, she didn't score at all. She already has 5 points in this game. And Miami has hit both of its threes on average. They're the worst three-point shooting team in the league this year. India Banks just couldn't get the bounce. And then Fletcher has it deflected out by Arievitz. Good energy by Miami to start off this game. They are in a 8-day, 4-game stretch. Georgia Tech also cramming some games in. This is a Tuesday afternoon game, a makeup game from earlier in the season.
Well, you got to believe that Katie Meyer was not happy with her team's performance against Florida State, a team that they had just beaten handily, just didn't have the energy coming out. Well, they've got the energy this afternoon.
Georgia Tech has struggled to find shots. Harden fouled by Lottinen after she took the ball away. And Miami has missed 6 of its first 7 shots. Harden and company coming out strongly, as you mentioned. And Katie Meyer talked about how this is not the kind of team. Both times they played Georgia Tech, they're coming off of just 1 day of preparation. And she said Georgia Tech might be the last team in the ACC you need 1 day to prepare for. In other words, you would need more time because of all the sets they run. But they're off to a good start this afternoon. Lottinen, open look, and she buried it. Odomai had 13 the first time these two teams played. Well, Kubai already is on the bench for Georgia Tech. Another outside shot. Good box out by Nerea Hermoso, the sophomore from Spain. Hermosa's given them some good work.
And with Lorella Kubai out of the game, she did start. You wonder how that knee is feeling in the early moments, because she would not normally check out this early.
Timeout on the floor. Miami up 6. Welcome back to ACC Network Basketball, presented to you by Geico. Cam Ward and LaChina Robinson joining you here from Atlanta, where Miami is off to a good start. as they lead Georgia Tech 10-4. Second of 2 games they will play during the regular season. Miami has 3 assists on their 4 field goals, trying to break out of a 2-game losing streak. Roby in the game, working on Hermosa, and still no Kubai in there, and Roby probably the closest thing to a true center that the Hurricanes have.
Yeah, and Roby's coming off a performance against Florida State where she was very comfortable hitting all 3 of her field goal attempts, using that size on the interior, which is very important against what can be the big Georgia Tech lineup, but without Kubai in the game right now, that's just too easy for Fletcher.
Well, yeah, that shows you how flexible Kiara Fletcher is coming in off the bounce. Again, had a preseason foot injury that caused her to miss the first 5 games of the season. And working the boards to get the putback.
And there's Harden.
Yep.
Player we talked about in the Open and how important it was for her to get on the glass. And, you know, one of the reasons why Georgia Tech has been so tough to handle for teams all season is when they go double big with Kubai and Hermosa, they're just a handful in the paint, and they like to play through those 2 players. Without Kubai in the game right now, you know, this is a Georgia Tech team that's more of a 4-out, 1-in, and just don't have the same amount of size. So everyone, including the perimeter players, Love is in right now at the 4. They've got to go to the glass.
Yeah, Kubai, as you see, sitting on the sidelines. We're trying to get word as to what's up with her. She did pick up that quick personal foul. Miami was out-rebounded by double digits the first time these 2 teams played. Katie Meyer talked about how important it was this afternoon, and that's a travel. Dee Cantor calls it. She's working this afternoon along with Denise Brooks and Meadow Overstreet.
Well, and major shout-out to our guys at behind the scenes and ladies, and pointing out that Kubai's first 2 shots were 3-point field goal looks. And, you know, you wonder for a player that hasn't taken a high volume of 3, if she's trusting that knee right now off of the drive.
Yeah, she only took 23s in the first 16 games and took 2 in the first couple of minutes. Missed them both. In fact, Georgia Tech 0 for 5 on 3s. 5 of their first 6 shots came from distance, including 2 tries by Kubai, and that's not good. Good to see her on the sideline unless you're a fan of the opposing team.
Well, and if you're Nell Fortner, you know, the way that Miami's shooting the 3, you're like, okay, you know, we can live with those. They hit a couple, but we're going to play the percentages and guard the paint. I mean, that is the scouting report against Miami. And so I don't think it's at a point where you're saying you want to flush out the 3-point shot quite yet. And very nice ball screen pick and roll between Lodamai Lottinen and Hermosa.
And Hermosa's second basket. Kelsey Marshall in the game, did not start today. Roby could not get the follow, and Marshall, first time she hasn't started since the last game of the regular season last year. And Goni, number 14 in orange, is in for Miami. They usually go to a zone whenever she is in. She's working to improve her defense, and a foul called by Denise Brooks out on the perimeter.
Really nice ball screen action here by Lodamai Lottinen. Hermosa gets to the bucket. Nobody home on backside, and Sydney Roby was not able to disrupt that pass.
Kelsey Marshall called for the foul for the Hurricanes. Both teams just with 2 personal fouls. Fletcher just dribbled and found herself wide open on the free throw line.
I really enjoyed watching Kiara Fletcher play this season. The way she's worked on her outside shot, the confidence she has in it, how physical she is at the rim on the drive. Half of the battle with this Georgia Tech team is their attitude and how much power they play with, and Fletcher's a big part of that.
Loyal McQueen, the freshman, another 3 attempt, no good, but Love comes up with the rebound. Aaliyah Love, number 24, another true freshman, getting major minutes for Nell Fortner.
And Georgia Tech needs to get Loyal McQueen open for some shots. She is red hot from 3-point range coming into this game. I mean, she has been lights out. So they need to try to clear some space for her.
Georgia Tech with 5 turnovers, as many turnovers as field goals made. There's Goni. Had a chat with Katie Meyer before a Florida State game and then came out and played well. India Banks with the shot clock dying. And a foul on the floor before she took the shot.
Yeah, Banks has been strong all season, using her body off of the bounce. You see her having a conversation with Roby. She has had to fill in the reins at the point guard spot and really be the leader of this team with Micaiah Gray out. This is a senior-heavy backcourt for Katie Meyer, but they do miss their emotional leader and their momentum changer in Micaiah Gray.
Micaiah went out with a preseason knee injury. Point guard, always tough to lose your point guard. And Lottanen with another assist, this time to Carter, another freshman. And Georgia, 6-0 run to get Georgia Tech to within 2.
Yeah, really nice play here in the open floor in transition. Lottanen being unselfish. Carter really started that with her defense. I mean, she can make things happen on that end of the floor with her physicality. Hasn't played a ton, but when you look at the rotation for Georgia Tech, again, missing Bates and some of the moving pieces, everyone's going to have to do a little bit more.
Beyonce Carter, a freshman out of Norcross, Georgia.
And Lorella Kubai, number 13 in white, has checked back in the game. We will watch to see how she's moving on both ends of the floor. Her mobility is a big part of what she does.
And she is being guarded now by Jameer Houston, number 15. And there's Kubai. It doesn't matter. She'll still zip in there and get the board.
She looks fine.
Dr. Robinson says she's okay right now. Fletcher cut off by Houston. Kick out for the 3. Another missed 3 for Georgia Tech as the first quarter comes to an end. Miami off to a fast start, missed 8 of their last 10 shots. But the Hurricanes have a 2-point advantage after 10 minutes.
Miami to start, but it's been Georgia Tech ever since coming back into this ball game. We've got a good one on the flats.
Welcome back. Second quarter about to get underway. Miami with a 2-point lead, but Destiny Harden continuing on her upward swing.
When you're on the road, you really have to come out strong, you know, and I know that home court advantage isn't what it usually is without crowds. Nice take there by Houston, but Miami needed to start out this game with a different energy than they had against Florida State, and Harden's rebounding and her activity is something that has set the tone very early in this one.
Fletcher all the way across the court to Carter. And then some contact and count it.
Boy, Kiera Fletcher did not have a lot of space or opportunity to make a play. Keep in mind, this is against the zone, so the defense has collapsed, and she got the defender off balance and still got the shot to go. That's the kind of strength and power, the toughness that I was talking about Kiera Fletcher plays with. I just love physical guards, and she is one of the most physical finishers in the ACC.
Fletcher completes the 3-point play, coming off a really good game against Louisville. They lost the game, but she had 19 points and 8 rebounds, played 40 minutes in that game. And gets Tech back to within 1. Kelsey Marshall hounded by Kubai, who has the height advantage. Good catch by Houston in traffic. And then she gave it up. There were 3 Yellow Jackets around her.
Lorella Kubai's ability to switch onto guards is incredible at her size. And contain them, not just switch, but keep them from scoring. She was guarding Dana Evans in their Louisville game.
Harden tried to draw the charge, or excuse me, Houston, but officials let it go. Kubai, another outside shot, and she missed everything.
Take a look at this defense. This is Kubai. She switched on to Kelsey Marshall. Most bigs can't keep up with a guard in that situation, but then sags down and helps on Houston. I mean, she covers a lot of ground defensively for Tech, and that's why she's so important to what this team does.
Kubai, 6'4", senior from Italy. And leading the ACC in rebounding this season, averaging a double-double.
She did pick up a foul there, going for the hard hedge. Probably hedged out a little bit too far, as Banks was not anywhere near scoring position. And in most situations, Banks is not going to take that three anyway. You just want to make her kind of change her course a little bit, and that's 2 fouls and already for Kubai.
So she goes to the bench yet again, and Hermosa comes back in. Another good defensive play. Leah Love, the freshman, as it was kicked.
Yeah, nice play by Love. I mentioned earlier when she subbed in, she can play the 3 and 4 spot. And that's something that Nell Fortner just really enjoys about her game, is that she's seamless in the IQ that it takes to know the difference between the 2 positions and the expectations for her at those spots. And with Kubai out, they're going to go small with Love at the power forward.
Love along with Carter and Boyd, the freshman, coming off the bench to get some minutes. Fletcher, nice work inside, but couldn't finish. Banks on the outlet. Czech does a good job to stem the break. And Bondu giving it up to Banks. Should stay with Miami, and indeed it does, as Love was unable to corral the rebound.
You know, Miami got out to a great start on offense, and I thought what helped them was their ball movement and them letting some time go off the shot clock and finding buckets. And I think they're going to have to continually do that. I mean, that's a high level of difficulty on that shot by Mason. It goes in, but you can't have every shot be a difficult look.
They certainly have had to work for every inch. And this is a Miami team that for the 3rd straight game does not have Mulena Johnson-City Baba available. She's one of their better perimeter defenders.
They are also without Brianna Jackson, who is not with the team, unavailable.
Lawton missed everything. And this is where Mbondu, she can really pass the eye test with her athleticism, but has struggled in the last couple of games offensively. Streaked up the court that time, but it ended up in a turnover. And Katie Meyer, when we asked her about that, she basically said that she was just kind of her spacing was off in the last couple games.
Well, that was the situation with Mbondu, where she was recruited to play the 3 spot. She's got to go to the rim. I don't know who she was turning to look for, but she did not need to give the ball up. I mean, I trust her, and she's a playmaker. You got to go to the rim.
She seems to have been a little tentative in the last couple of games with her shot. A terrific talent, the junior college transfer. Katie Meyer, who does not usually mince words, said her spacing has been awful.
And I would agree with that. Again, I think it's a product of Miami's offense in general.
Right.
Awful. Doesn't get much worse than awful.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. But she had a conversation with her, as Coach Meyer is the kind of person who's going to let you know exactly what she wants from you. Boy, Leah Love working, and it pays off.
Boy, the offensive rebounds and second chance points for Georgia Tech, not quite adding up to the effort, but that is 8 offensive rebounds for the Yellow Jackets early. That says 10. I've got, oh, yes, it is 10 because Love had a couple in that possession. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yep. They have missed 20 of their 28 shots. Banks right over Fletcher, who looks around like, I can't believe she did that and hit it.
You just go back to the other end after she hits that. I mean, what else could you do?
It's only the 13th 3 that India has hit all season. And this her 18th game. Fletcher, nope. Love continuing to work, but chased down by Mason. And Mason gets the atta-girl hug from her coach, Katie Meyer.
I mean, this is Fletcher basically daring Banks to take that. I mean, she got a hand extended, but it was rather late. Banks, the lefty, is a little bit of a different shot to contest as well. You got to get a high hand on that left hand.
Banks doing a really good job, as you said, running the point for Gray this year, and has been much more vocal. Coach Meyer says she barks at her teammates when they need it, which is what you need from your point guard. Eryavitz, number 25, back in. Now the offense a little stagnant. Roby tries to bail him out, but Lawton comes in.
Lotman's been very quiet to start this game, has missed a few shots, but Georgia Tech is also still 0 from 3.
Loda Mize missed 5 of her first 6 shots, which is very unusual. Fletcher able to drive on the baseline. And Tech comes back. Marshall with the answer.
Nice score by Marshall. One thing we have made note of this season is how she has been more versatile with finding her shots, not just from 3, but the willingness to put the ball on the deck.
Lotman, another miss. Loda Mize cold so far this afternoon. She's only hit 1 of her 7 from the floor. Usually they're relying on her for about 15.5 points per game.
I like the call to get Harden on a post-up with Lotman on her.
Mason with the shot that was off the mark, and not a lot of orange jerseys underneath the rebound. And Bondu's going to come back in, and there's your first 3 for the Yellow Jackets.
It's that lefty three-point shot by McQueen. That's right, team lefty.
There you go. They missed their first 10 threes until the lefty got it in.
She was 4 of 5 from long range against Louisville. That might have been too early of a shot for Miami.
Yeah, Harden with the miss from outside the arc. That's a travel, and they got it.
Got a good one going back and forth at Georgia Tech, and finally the Yellow Jackets hit a 3 in this one. Of course, it's the lefty McQueen. Gets it to go.
Welcome back to ACC Network Basketball, presented by Geico. Nice close game in Atlanta this afternoon. Miami leading Georgia Tech by 1. Georgia Tech in 3rd place in the ACC. Charlie Cream has them projected as a 5 seed in his bracketology, and Katie Meyer's team just trying to get back on the right track in what has been a difficult season so far.
Yeah, with one-day prep, as she mentioned to us, it's kind of hard to come into Georgia Tech not having a ton of time. That Sunday, Tuesday turnaround has got to be rough, along with Tuesday, Thursday. Miami's about to do both.
Gosh, and Bondu just took a couple of superfluous steps. That turnover gets it back to Tech. And gets it out to McQueen. The lefty misses the 3 that time, but another good rebound, another good offensive board, that time by Love.
Well, that's kind of the tough part about playing the zone, is you are going to give up rebounding position, and Georgia Tech has been able to take advantage of that. Nice face-up by Hermosa. She's really settled into the season. I thought she had a little bit of a rocky start, but she has been solid. Even in their last game against Louisville with Kubai out, she just kept her focus and did what she could on the inside.
Georgia Tech leads for the first time in this game thanks to an 18-9 run. Want to remind you that we have a doubleheader coming up Thursday, Yellow Jacket fans. We will have Florida State and Georgia Tech at 6 Eastern on the ACC Network, and then follow that with Louisville taking on Pitt. Both games on the ACC Network as well as the ESPN app.
And those games will feature 3 of my candidates for most improved player this year. Loda Mize Lotman has got to be the leader in that. Courtney Weber from Florida State has had an outstanding year. And then Elizabeth Dixon is much improved for the Louisville Cardinals. And, you know, it's tough in this season in particular to get that most improved award, because everyone faced something different coming into the season in terms of their preparation and how they were able to work on their skills, what kind of gym they had available to them. And so I have a very high level of respect for the players that, you know, found a way to really elevate their game in what's been a challenging season just overall.
Yeah, absolutely. Just trying to find a gym during lockdown after everything shut down last March has been challenging, and that was thrown towards Dee Kantner, who is not playing today, but she's an official, and let's give a shout out to the officials. It's Thank a Ref Week, and Katie Meyer of all people wanted us to thank the referees, not of all people, but Katie can be animated on the sideline. She said, usually I apologize to the officials after the games for my behavior.
Yeah, I mean, think about what the officials are going through with all of these games. They're not flying charter, through COVID. They're going through testing almost every day. I mean, they have a game almost every day of the week. Most of them do. So shout out to Debbie Williamson, the officials coordinator for the ACC. The Thank a Ref initiative is alive and well, and we are grateful for all the sacrifice of the officials this season, who I think sometimes gets overlooked.
Absolutely. As Katie said, they're schlepping all over the place, flying commercials. They have to get tested on their own, and in this very trying time. And I don't know if I'd want to be getting on a commercial flight, much less doing that the 2 or 3 times a week. They probably at least have to do that. So they are certainly the unsung heroes and don't get a lot of credit. As Hermosa heads to the line, Marshall fouled her. That's a second on Kelsey. Hey, it's February, so it's softball season. And we'll have all 3 games of the softball series between number 12 Florida State and Georgia Tech this week. Doubleheader starting Thursday at 11 a.m. And then on Friday, coverage starts at 1 on the ACC network. And there are going to be some chilly student athletes playing softball in Atlanta.
I know. There's a chill over our entire country, sending our thoughts and prayers to everyone who is in icy conditions without power. I mean, we have just been hit, especially the state of Texas as of this morning had over 4 million people that were without power. And so we hope all of that gets fixed sooner rather than later. Be safe out there.
Just wave after wave as we go inside a minute. Leah Love, by the way, 8 boards, the freshman for Tech, 6 of them offensive.
Yeah, she's done a nice job. Athletic, active, long. She gives Georgia Tech a different look.
Love, a freshman out of Kansas City, Kansas. Never got anything but A's in high school. Not bad.
Wow.
And she's at a pretty good academic institution.
Don't tell my mom that. I just claimed it was impossible. Take a look at Kira Fletcher here, 41 with the basketball. Looked like she might have injured her hand there.
Flexed her wrist a little bit, didn't she?
She's still flexing it over there in the lower, now left-hand part of your screen.
Shot clock now, winding down. Lotman in traffic. Hermosa able to bail out what didn't look like a very steady offensive possession.
6'5", has a soft touch, has a height advantage over this Miami lineup, and just shot right over the top of defense that had not yet rotated over.
Houston, nice look inside. Boy, she just couldn't get it to fall. That was a nice feed by Aryavitz, and then Banks knocks it out of bounds. So Georgia Tech up by 4, even though Lotman and Kubai have only combined for 4 points. Last 4.5 minutes trying to sweep the 2-game season series from Miami as we hit the half in Atlanta. Welcome back to ACC Network Basketball presented by Geico. Georgia Tech with a 4-point lead over Miami. The Hurricanes went almost, 5 minutes without scoring to end that second quarter. Not good for them. Pam Ward along with former Dima Deacon, LaShaya Robinson. So Miami went into a little bit of a drought, but they started this game off well.
Yeah, they did. And I was very impressed with their three-point shooting to start. Not really Miami's strength, but I thought that gave them some balance and really liked their ball movement early. They were 3 for 7 from the three-point line. They had 3 different players hit a 3, none of them Kelsey Marshall. And so I thought that early that gave them some confidence, but they weren't finishing enough buckets in the paint to close out the first half. And that is where we'll keep an eye on their offense and where they may have had that drought. On the other end for Georgia Tech, with Lurella Kubai in foul trouble and leaving the game for a few minutes early, I thought Hermosa did a good job filling in the paint. 4 for 6, 9 points, 4 rebounds, but just bought exactly the touch that Georgia Tech needed on both ends again with Kubai out. And we've just watched her mature over the course of this season, and all the aspects of her game, from rebounding to that face-up shot to just bringing that overall Georgia Tech toughness.
Yeah, Kubai did not score. Meanwhile, Lodamai Lahtinen only had 2 points. As we take a look at today's player spotlight, brought to you by Geico, and maybe need to see a little bit more Lodamai in the second half.
Yeah, only 2 points. She did have 5 assists, so made some good decisions, only 1 turnover. But I just truly believe that Georgia Tech is at their best when Lodamai Lahtinen is scoring the ball. 1 for 7 from the field, struggling to really hit shots. But this has been a consistent double-figure scorer for Nell Fortner's team all season.
Lodamai coming in, leading the team in scoring, about 15.5 points per game. That is 9th best in the ACC. First time that they played at Miami this year, the first time they played Miami on the road. In fact, it was 13 points that she had put in, but they're still up by 4 points. That's the good news for Georgia Tech. This is a team that has made a living off of rebounds. They are now plus 10 in rebounding and really doing some damage on the offensive glass. Leah Love, especially off the bench, with 6 offensive rebounds. And we are underway in the second half on this Mardi Gras Tuesday.
It says a lot that Georgia Tech had Lurella Kubai on the court for 6 minutes and Lodamai Lahtinen going 1 for 7 from the field, and they still have the lead. That's how talented this team is.
Yeah, Kubai gets her first basket after missing her first 3 shots, 2 of which were from beyond the arc, which is rather unusual for her. She only hit 4 threes on the season.
And in Georgia Tech's man-to-man, Kubai is guarding Destiny Harden, so it's a smaller matchup for Kubai. Interested to see who could take advantage of that on either end, but Miami looks like they're going to get back to their zone.
And Miami looked like they were trying to get the ball into Mbondu, but the pass in the lane got picked off. Hermosa had a nice first half, and then Kubai with the bad miss.
Yeah, her last couple shots have really been off. Well, she shot a face-up air ball early, and then right there just missed everything.
Lurella Kubai coming in, the top rebounder in the league, hurt her knee. Tweaked it a little bit against Louisville. There was some concern about her availability today. She did start the game, but picked up a couple of fouls. Lahtinen now with the steal. And Mbondu challenges at the last second, but Lahtinen was able to put it in.
Mentioned the physicality of Fletcher in the backcourt for Georgia Tech. Well, Lahtinen is a physical player as well and uses her body, in particular on defense, to get steals and extra possessions.
Lahtinen is only about 5'7", but plays a lot taller, I think. And yeah, you're right. She's just very physical out there, along with Fletcher on the perimeter.
I would love to see Miami get the ball to Harden and let her drive on Kubai, test that mobility, and see if she can guard her off the bounce.
Oh, another empty offensive possession for Miami. Lahtinen gets it over to Fletcher. Good ball movement. McQueen into Hermosa. Back to Lodamai. Good look for 3. Cup down, and Hermosa was fouled in her try to get the offensive board.
Both Kubai and Hermosa are immovable around the bucket. Strong bodies, just hard to get them out. I mean, that's an excellent pass for an open shot by Lahtinen. But look at Miami, got 3 bodies there, and it's still Hermosa that ends up getting prime real estate.
And that's a 3rd foul on Taylor Mason, so she heads to the bench. Kelsey Marshall, for whom Mason started today, comes in, and Katie Meyer is going to give a little life lesson to Mason.
It's always a good time for a life lesson from Katie Meyer. She and Nell Fortner have to be 2 of the most interesting coaches to talk to.
Yes.
leading into a game. Just Nell's Southern accent, Katie's vocabulary. Beautiful offense there by the Yellow Jackets, inside out, and Fletcher gets the long ball to go.
Kiera Fletcher with a dozen. Miami has been outscored 7-0 here in the third. It's a 15-0 run overall. Fletcher nailing it. Timeout in Atlanta.
Back then, if you were black, probably just about, if you went to school here, everything was a first, pretty much, you know.
Welcome back, Black History Month, and that is Jan Hilliard, who is the first African-American to play women's basketball at Georgia Tech, as we've been mentioning that pretty much all season long, all across the ACC, or all month long, pardon me.
Yeah, when she was a young girl, she liked to build things and had no idea that that would lead her to Georgia Tech. She came in 1975, 8 years after Harvey Webb broke the color barrier on the Georgia Tech men's side. And at the time, there were only 3,000 women enrolled, fewer, excuse me, than 3,000 women enrolled at Georgia Tech. And, you know, so it was considered a small school in that way. But just what an important moment for the history of Georgia Tech athletics and for the campus, for what Hilliard was able to do as not only a student, but also a basketball player.
Yeah, terrific engineering school at Georgia Tech. Nell Fortner in her second season, trying to get her program into the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2014. And right now, things are looking good.
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned coming out of the half, that, you know, when Lodamai Lawton's not shooting well and Kubai spent more time off the court than she did on the court in the first half, and you have a halftime lead. I mean, it just speaks to the development overall of this team, and they probably have as much mental focus and toughness as any team in the country that I've watched play. They bounce back. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They stay between you and the bucket. Physical, you know, they wear you down over the course of a game. Just to really, really like this Georgia Tech team a lot.
Yeah, and Katie Meyer also had some very nice things to say about how impressed she is. You talk to coaches in the league, and nobody really wants to play them.
Well, and I believe it was the coaches that picked Georgia Tech to finish pretty high. It was the media, you know, those of us that don't know what we're talking about that may have picked them closer to the middle of the pack.
And Marshall finally breaks the 17-0 Georgia Tech scoring run. And yeah, just to go back, the coaches picked Georgia Tech to finish 5th, the media 9th.
And really, Francesca Pond was the biggest part, or the biggest departure from last season to this season. But boy, was she a prolific scorer.
That was their leading scorer last year. Boy, that's a terrific look over to Hermosa. Kubai with the assist.
Man, that is just the kind of play where you see how special Lorella Kubai is on the offensive end and how just amazing their interior game is, how well they work together.
Oh.
Take a look at Lorella Kubai. She gets trapped, dribbles her way out of it, help defender comes over. She does not blink, finds an open Hermosa, and that's your 6'4" post player making that play. That's the mobility, the agility that we talked about. I mean, she's just an incredible player. There's really no one like her that I've seen in the country.
All right, Kubai delivering. She's got 4 points already in this quarter. You see paint points, as you might expect, in favor of Tech. Sydney Roby going to try to work on Hermosa. Might have gotten away with a walk.
Roby's got to try to clear some space, maybe use the bounce to get around Hermosa. That was going to be a high level of difficulty.
Oh, speaking of high level of difficulty, look what Kubai just did.
Come on, Pam. That move was just ridiculous. 6'4", big body, can compete on the glass, gets blocks, but that move, Lorella Kubai is legit. Welcome back to Atlanta, where Georgia Tech has extended their lead here in the third quarter. And a lot of it has had to do with the play of Lurella Kubai, one of the best centers in a deep field of bigs in the ACC at 6'4" from Italy. We came in questioning whether or not that knee injury she suffered against Louisville would bother her. But check the footwork here on the fake, but it's the use of the glass that gets you. Found an angle with the defender there in her face. So skilled with her size. I just don't think she gets enough credit for how good she is and how powerful of a center she is on both ends of the floor.
And she's pretty nifty, pretty nimble. We saw a nice assist a little bit earlier in the quarter, and Kubai does not appear to be playing at 100%. Her left knee apparently still a little sore, but she looked great on that. And meanwhile, it is now a 23-2 run for Georgia Tech. It was a 23-22 lead late in the second quarter for Miami, and they have only scored once in their last 14 trips down the floor. We see Katie Meyer has tweaked her lineup a little bit with Goni now in, and Bondu is on the bench. Naomi and Bondu with another puzzling day, just 2 points for her.
Well, Miami thrives on speeding up the game, especially when you're playing against a team that can use their bigs in the half court, and they're not hitting shots, so they have rarely been able to set up their pressure. We saw them do it once, I think, in that last stretch since the previous break, but they haven't been able to use their pressure. And then in the half court, still seeing them struggle with their spacing. And, you know, one thing with this Miami team is in those moving lineups is they haven't really gotten a lot of continuity and chemistry with the core group on the floor. So that's one of the things that you lose when you change your lineup is, you know, how the team interacts on offense, who they're on the floor with, where they want the ball, what plays they can run with a certain group. And I don't think Katie Meyer has found that one group that she likes.
Tough pass, and Houston dribbled it off her foot ultimately. So another empty trip for the Hurricanes. Aryavitz in there. The de facto point guard right now for this Hurricane team.
See Goni looking to apply some zone pressure here, use her length, take away the vision.
Oh, look at that.
But no problem for Georgia Tech. That was one of the concerns coming in. Nell Fortner said we have to handle their pressure. And yeah, it's not an in-your-face pressure all of the time. It's more of their length and spacing and how quickly they can shoot the gap. So you have to be sure on those passes.
That was Aaliyah Love with the last bucket for Tech. A couple of chances for Miami, and now Lottanen to Kubai. Lurella Kubai coming alive here in the third quarter. She's got 8 points in this quarter.
One of the focuses for Georgia Tech was definitely on the rebounds because they lost that battle in their last two games, which were both losses against Wake Forest and against Louisville. And they are almost double on the rebounds. And also 18 second chance points for Tech as well. Kubai with a nice floater finish, running the floor. And that is now 7 assists for Lottanen and 6 rebounds. I may be forgiving on that 2 for 9 shooting with all the other ways she's contributing. I think she's also got like 3 steals to go along with that.
Yep, at least 3 steals. And a whistle away from the shot. As Lottanen hits the deck. And a foul called on Lottanen.
Georgia Tech is shooting 73% in this half. So in this third quarter, pretty much. They're 8 for 11. Barely missed a shot.
Kubai part of that outburst. They are outscoring Miami by 14 in this quarter. Miami only scored 9 points in the second quarter, and they're sitting on 5 here in the third.
Miami's got to figure out a way they can get Kelsey Marshall free for some buckets. I mean, she is, again, that veteran player, the one that's been in the battles, their dependable three-point shooter. She's getting chased right now by Carter, but a turnover by the Canes.
Missed layup, but another offensive rebound. Even when Georgia Tech doesn't have numbers, they're coming up with it. That was Aviance Carter who came up with the board. Shot clock now down to 5. Carter over Aryavitz, cups out. Here comes Kelsey Marshall. One of the few times Miami has had an opportunity to run, and then Marshall just puts it up way too strong off glass.
That's a situation where if you're Marshall, you got to try to get to the free throw line. Obviously, you want to make the layup. And Georgia Tech has done a nice job in their transition defense, taking away any easy ones for Miami on the run. But they've got to continue to attack. Pam, you know as well as I do, one of the marks of a successful Miami team is when they get to the free throw line, they have 0 trips in this game. But when they're using their quickness and speed to catch you off balance, to get you in foul trouble, I mean, that's when they're at their best. But that's just great defense by Georgia Tech.
And Marshall that time running into Kubai. No free throws taken by a Miami team that gets there fairly regularly on average. There you see it. Tech's only gone 5 times, but Miami has not gotten there yet as Mbondu comes back in. Naomi, just 2 points on 2 shots. Who went through a stretch where she was Miami's best player, went through a 3-game stretch where she hit 62% of her shots. When she was put into the starting lineup, she just took off, but she has struggled in the last 3 games.
Yeah, she seems to be thinking. You know, you can kind of see her wheels turning when she catches the ball. Maybe overthinking it.
We've got Georgia Tech for you coming up on Thursday night, the first of our doubleheader as Georgia Tech goes down to Florida State at 6 Eastern, and follow that with Louisville and Pitt on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. You get to see Louisville again, and they are #1 seed in the NCAA tournament according to Charlie Cream. Georgia Tech is a 5. Charlie has 8 ACC schools getting in.
It is really a daily update by Charlie Cream, because we have 8 and then we had 9. There's a group of schools that are kind of on the cusp, or have been throughout the season, of you're either in or out. Wake Forest is in that group. They're in as of now. They have been playing very good basketball as of late, but Clemson was in that group at one point. Notre Dame has been in that group. It's just been interesting to watch, as this is just a very competitive year in the league.
And with the regular season winding down, Loyal McQueen misses wide right. Here's Mbondu.
I think North Carolina has been in and out.
Oh boy, look at the defense. Good hustle. That's Love again.
She's been very active, and not the kind of hustle that's going to necessarily show up on the stat sheet, just at the right place at the right time. I mean, runs the floor well, and that's what you want to see from a freshman. I mean, the things that you want your freshmen to be picking up on is not necessarily how many points they can put on the board, but how can we be effective in being the first player down the floor, extra effort on the glass, you know, being in help rotation in the right place. And Love has done some really good things today.
She certainly has. 8 rebounds, and Miami is about to shoot its first free throws of the game.
No rebound is an easy rebound when you're playing Georgia Tech, but Mbondu was able to fly in there and get a hold of one.
Naomi from France, her first year at Miami, a couple years at Gulf Coast State College, which is just a tremendous junior college program. A lot of players getting into really good Division I programs from there.
Yeah, she played with a few, from what we understand. Alana Smith, who went to Louisville, I believe. And there was someone else, maybe in the conference, that also went to, that was in school with Mbondu at junior college. see if I can figure out who that was.
It'll come to you. Yeah, and Mbondu wasn't even the star of that team. Showed you how good they were. National champions one of the years she was there. Now Mbondu D'ing up on Hermosa, who threw the ball away.
It's a misread there. Hermosa took her eyes off of McQueen for a second, and she had relocated.
Aryavets got the free path and took advantage of it.
And that's big because Aryavets has struggled from the field. 0 for 10. Had not hit a field goal in her last 2 games. Aryavets turns the corner, little hedged by Hermosa, but nobody home on the backside, and Aryavets gets a clean one. Again, she hasn't hit a field goal in 2 games. She has been inserted into the starting lineup, not necessarily for her scoring, though, but more for her passing and facilitation.
In and out, that would have been a big 3. It's a 7-0 Miami run. As we hit a minute to go in the 3rd quarter.
And Miami fought back against Florida State late in that game, and so they never really feel like they're out. They will continue to play and fight back, but they've got a mountain to climb here.
McQueen, Hermosa, shot clock at 4 for Lottman, and no one. That was I think that was Goni.
The
Lost
patience.
love underneath.
Patience of Georgia Tech. Not letting that pressure rattle them.
And Mbondu with a nice feed, yep.
Yeah, a couple of good plays for Aryavets, and Miami setting up their pressure.
Lottman. Here's Fletcher with the miss, but Georgia Tech outscoring Miami by 10 in that quarter. Jackets rolling.
Lodamai Lottman getting steals to the offensive end. The outside shot by Fletcher. Upperclassmen leadership. Hermosa getting in on it as well.
The NCAA Women's Basketball Championship on ESPN.
It's Jackson on the drive for the lead. Got it to go! And that's it. The Baylor Lady Bears are back at the top of college basketball.
Yep, Baylor is still the defending champion since we did not have a tournament last year. ESPN with all the games coming your way again this season. Pam Ward and LaShina Robinson joining you as the 4th quarter is underway. Georgia Tech in control, leading Miami by 14 points.
How good of a job has Georgia Tech's front line been needing those Miami guards with a wall of defense inside?
Miami shooting just 33% on the afternoon after they got off to a fast start. Kelsey Marshall came off the bench today. Another outside shot, and it goes in for Mason.
I mean, we talked about Kelsey Marshall coming into this game and her playing with confidence. Taylor Mason, double figures 2 of her last 3, also shooting over 50% for 2 of those contests. So she's got some confidence and some energy about her coming into today.
Lottman, a slow scoring day until that 3 went down. Her first 4 from beyond the arc.
Georgia Tech just knows, sorry Pam.
Go.
Georgia Tech just knows where they're going to get their shots. I wasn't going to say anything that important. You go.
No, that was very important. Lottman. And that ends a 12-2 Miami run. Lottman now with 9 points and a career-high tying 8 assists. And Mbondu worked the baseline well, but not enough real estate to get the shot over the rim. Lottman's got herself a good line. 9 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds.
And the steals. She's second in the ACC, so she does it on both ends.
Odomai has 3 steals this afternoon. She is second in the league in steals coming into this game.
Trip to the free throw line for Fletcher. Here's that toughness again, the Fletcher flex, showing that strength, finding an angle. That's the second bucket we've seen here in the recent moments of Georgia Tech using the glass and just powering it up.
Here we go, 1 shot. 1.
There's a 3rd foul on Kelsey Marshall. Another nice game for Kiera Fletcher. Backing up that 19-point game against Louisville with another double-digit effort this afternoon. And see Miami starting to get a little bit more aggressive underneath and drawing some fouls.
Yeah, Mason again. First time was from the 3-point line. This time she takes the drive.
Coming up Friday night at 8 Eastern time after a women's lacrosse game. It's Next Bald Men Not on Campus with Jay LaFonso and Seth as they preview the ACC slate of weekend basketball games and the latest news from around the conference only on the ACC Network and the ESPN app.
Got a chance to watch some college men's basketball this weekend. Saw a couple ball guys on my screen. Saw Coach Seth and Fonzo in the studio. So listen to Jay Billis and Dan on the call. Indiana, I believe, was Ohio State. I'm always trying to learn from Jay Billis, man.
Yeah, he knows some things.
The best at what he does.
And Dan Schulman, another guy follically challenged, but boy, is he a talented play-by-play guy.
Yeah, they need to invite him to the bald men gathering as well.
Yeah, the bald Canadian man out on campus performing.
Miami starting to get some momentum, hit a shot, forced a turnover here. Let's see if the Canes can get another score.
Mason, how about that?
I thought she got fouled on that one too, Pam.
I think Katie Meyer agrees, but you talked about it. This team just does not give up. They had that epic comeback against Pitt when they were down 23 points in the first quarter, came back to win it. But China, they're not giving up.
This has been the Taylor Mason takeover in recent moments. We saw Banks hit one there. Miami fighting back. Welcome back, where Miami is fighting to get back into this game against Georgia Tech behind the play of Taylor Mason, who has gotten hot and providing some offense the last few minutes. India Banks hit a long-range shot. That's allowed Miami to get into their pressure, to kind of speed the game up. They forced Georgia Tech into some mistakes. Let's see if they can get a stop here to keep the momentum going. They are back in their zone defense, protecting the paint against Lurella Kubai and Nerea Hermosa. In the drive.
Yeah, how about Mbondu coming over, though, to cut her off, and then the 3. Wow, Miami had a good defensive stand there until McQueen knocked down the 3.
Boy, that pass was just incredible. That's a good to great pass.
Odomai Lotna now with 9 assists, a new career high for her. Aryavets.
Aryavets has been a part of this run as well. We mentioned the drought she had coming into this game. Well, she has found some confidence after that drive. That time knocks it down from outside.
Her second 3 of the game. And then Mbondu stepped in front to get the, to get the turnover, and then she turned it right back over with the walk.
Look at this drive by Fletcher and the incredible pass. It takes a lot of strength in the upper body to make a pass outside of 3 defenders and get it to the perimeter. And then off of the bounce, Aryavets gets the 3 to go. And I mentioned Loyal McQueen being hot coming into this game from 3, 8 for 10 from 3-point range in her last 3 games. That is not hot, that's smoking.
Wow, nifty 80% for 0-0. Hermosa left wide open on that sweet spot at the free throw line.
Unfazed.
Yep, just catch and shoot. She's got
Nerea
13.
Hermosa doesn't show a lot of emotion, very steady. You don't see her get upset about a call or really make a face. She just end to end, runs the floor, plays hard. And even though Miami is trying to force the turnover, that face-up was cool, calm, and collect.
Inside 5 minutes to go. Kubai got up in the air, but then a good recovery. So Harden couldn't do anything but pass it to Aryavets, who took it right to McQueen and was short.
And Georgia Tech's done a nice job for the most part in taking away the drive. They have put Miami on the free throw line, though, here more in the latter part of the game than they did early on.
Miami 4 for 4 from the free throw line in the fourth quarter. Kubai. Short.
She's been short today as her jump shot.
Yeah, it was well short. Oh, and then a lot of contact, nothing called underneath.
What a hustle by Kira Fletcher. Yeah, no call there as Lodemai Lotnin tried to take a charge. But not all contact is a foul.
Kubai. Whoa, with a one-hand turnaround.
Can Miami get down and not have empty possessions? That was one of Katie Meyer's concerns looking over the last couple games is they just have stretches where they can't score. Can they continue to put the bucket in? Harden has an answer. Canes are still very much in this game.
They need some stops. Destiny Harden now with 9 points. Miami does not have a single player in double figures this afternoon. Harden and Mason each with 9. Aryavets has 8. Kubai mismatched with Aryavets, and there's a foul.
Yeah, the high-low game between Hermosa and Kubai. It's usually Kubai who's more on the perimeter as the passer in that set, but that's almost unstoppable with their size. Once they get that ball up high, especially against this smaller Miami team, that's tough to stop.
Now Kubai heads to the free throw line. 10 points all here in the second half. Only a 58% free throw shooter. We got some men's basketball coming your way tomorrow, beginning with NC State Pitt at 4:30. Nice little triple header for you. Syracuse, Louisville follows that, and cap your night off with Duke and the Deacs, all on the ACC network and the ESPN app. That's coming up tomorrow on Wednesday.
Everyone's excited about, oh, beautiful cut there. Nobody home for Georgia Tech as Aryavets gets an easy one. But I was going to say, everyone's excited as we push towards the ACC tournament. Kubai handling the pressure single-handedly there to get Georgia Tech set up.
Yep, able to dribble out of it and get some help. Aryavets guarded by Goni. Quickly over to Lotnin. And that was a little bit too strong. Rebound battled for.
Oh boy, Harden. That's one you had to have.
Goni, high dribble, and finished.
Hey, that 6'9" wingspan helped on that finish, because I don't know how she gathered that and got it to go.
That ball went a long way.
That was an awfully high dribble. Man, Harden really fought for this. This has been just an exceptional fight for Miami after being down a lot in this game. And then Goni catches it in open court. I don't know. I mean, she got away with something right there, but that dribble was awfully high. She's even laughing at herself right now. Like, really?
Goni, the true freshman from Lincoln, Nebraska. She's got a lot of potential, but I would think not as a point guard.
No, definitely going to have to tighten up the handle over the summer.
And she's listed at 6'2", but boy, she's got a wingspan that's just incredible.
Yeah, 6'9".
Oh,
That's
my.
just crazy.
So that takes it back to 10. Miami has not been able to chip into it any further. And they're saying it's off of Miami, so Tech holds on to it with just over 2 minutes left to go.
Well, you see what happens there. Tech calls a play. Kubai knows exactly where Fletcher's going. She went right to the rim to try to contest for the rebound. I mean, it was they just know each other very well.
Kubai draws yet another foul. That's on Harden, her second. So the team fouls, just 1 for Georgia Tech in this quarter. Miami with 3. You need 5 to shoot in the bonus in women's basketball. Lotman.
Man-to-man here by the Canes.
Shot clock winding down. Lotman.
Oh, man.
Another
Oh,
board, but they're going to say that Love was over the back.
boy, Banks gets saved on that one. I'm not sure how much she was actually actively pushing back. But Love has been so impressive on the offensive glass, and ooh, man. I don't know about that one. I think Love may have gotten that one clean. Unless there was some earlier contact we didn't see.
Yeah, third foul for Aaliyah, but Miami cannot capitalize. And Georgia Tech coming off back-to-back losses to Wake Forest and Louisville. And another foul here. Destiny Marshall, or excuse me, Destiny Harden with the foul.
And that's been the interesting matchup all game, really is, you know, Miami going small. And they're really small now with Goni at the 5, and then, you know, Harden having to compete for rebounds against Kubai, who right here is just going to cut to the rim against a small defender, can't get it to go.
A minute left in Atlanta. Arrivets, what a game. A new season high for the Wyoming transfer. Had never scored more than 6 points in a game this season until today. And she's got 13.
If nothing else comes from this, Carla Arrivets has gotten her confidence. Not easy coming in 0 for her in her last 2 games. On the closeout even, flushes the 3.
Played the first couple of years at Miami did Arrivets as Kubai is back at the line. Career high 19 points that she hit in her freshman year as a Cowgirl. And 13 for Arrivets today. 3 of 4 from the three-point line. Kubai gonna put it away. Miami. 3 games left. They have Boston College and Wake Forest at home, then finish up at Clemson. And we will see Georgia Tech right here on the ACC network coming up on Thursday evening when they go to Florida State. We will have that game for you. But gritty for Miami. Got down big, came back, but Georgia Tech just a little bit too much today.
What do you take away from this game? The poise of the Yellow Jackets. I mean, they're upperclassmen. Kubai, Lotman, Fletcher, they're about as solid as you could ask for. You know, don't respond to how their opponents play. They're very dialed into the game plan, very focused team. I mean, Miami made their runs, but they really didn't seem to be able to affect the steadiness of the Yellow Jackets outside of that first few minutes where, you know, Miami came out shooting red hot, and Georgia Tech's like, hey, if you guys are going to beat us from 3, we'll take this. But, you know, there's been just a response to every Miami run.
And especially in this year with so many interruptions because of COVID, when you have players like Kubai and Lahtinen always seem to be on the same page, Fletcher also in that same boat, it makes such a difference.
Yeah, 17 assists on 27 made field goals. Really connecting was Georgia Tech. I'm sure Nell Fortner will discuss some of the 13 turnovers, but not bad with the kind of pressure that Miami wants to put on you. Your one concern for Georgia Tech as they finish out the stretch of the regular season into the ACC tournament is they had 8 bench points. They're going to need to get Bates back, get healthy, and just continue to extend the contributions, whether that's Carter, Boyd being able to contribute. Obviously, Love is really getting comfortable. 8 rebounds, 9 rebounds for her today. But that is the one thing that you would like to see for Tech, is for them to continue to grow their depth through these next couple weeks.
A couple of other bright spots. We talked about how important rebounding was coming into this game. Georgia Tech is plus 16 in rebounding over Miami, and a new career high. Lodemai Lahtinen with her first career double-digit assist game. She has 10 helpers on the afternoon.
9 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds, and it was the 3 for 12 that really impressed me most. She did not allow her lack of efficiency shooting to get in the way of all the other ways that she could impact the game. I mean, she was almost at a triple-double. Just fantastic for a guard that does a good job on the boards at 5'7". Just rebounds well, does a little bit of everything.
Head coach Nell Fortner talks about the grit, and we talked to her earlier in the season. She said it's hard really to put into words how much and what Lodemai Lahtinen means to this team.
She just out-toughs you, just outworks you.
Is she your most improved player right now?
She's definitely my most improved player if I had to vote right now, for sure. And there's some definitely stiff competition in the ACC, but no one has really turned it on this season, especially in conference play the way Lodemai Lahtinen has.
Now Georgia Tech takes it 67-56. We will be back to Atlanta in a minute to wrap things up. Welcome back to Atlanta. Georgia Tech, a 67-56 winner over Miami. Pam Ward along with LaChina Robinson. Boy, it was Miami had a stretch where they just could not score. There was a 17-0 Miami run, or excuse me, Georgia Tech run after Miami took an early lead. China, you can't go almost 8 minutes without scoring and expect to win in this league.
Boy, I mean, Miami definitely had some droughts that hurt them. But with almost a 21-point lead at one point for Georgia Tech, I thought Miami did a nice job of fighting back. But the toughness of Georgia Tech on the glass, in the paint, and just how well they play together in executing their offense is really impressive. This is a great Georgia Tech squad.
So Lodemai Lahtinen, a new career high 10 assists. Aaliyah Love with a new career high and 9 rebounds for the freshman as they win it. Pam Ward along with LaChina Robinson. We'll see you Thursday night for Georgia Tech, Florida State, as we say so long from Atlanta.